Two chess masters with no experience internationally played at the Cafe Red Lion on August 25th, 1889.
Lock in! Lock in!
One of them in just 5 years became the second world chess champion. But in this tournament, Emanuel Lasker and Johann Bauer fought like there was no tomorrow in the first round of the tournament. Hey, this is H1. We're gonna be running it back with another episode talking about chess knowledge, chess wisdom, and chess understanding again. Let's get started. The first move that was played was F4, which goes into the bird opening. Yes, there's an opening called the bird. Relax, chill out, let's continue on. After F5, D5, E3, knight to F6, B3, E6, bishop to B2, fianchettoing the dark square bishop on B2. And what is a fianchetto? A fianchetto is this structure right here with the pawns on A2, B3, C2. The purpose of a fianchetto is the bishop controlling the longest diagonal on the chessboard. Black played the move bishop to E7, trying to castle their king, because in the opening we should be developing our pieces, our bishops and knights, castling the king, getting our rooks on open files so that we can attack our opponent with all of our might. Bishop to D3, B6, because they want a fianchetto on this long diagonal from H1 to A8 with their bishop on C8. White played knight to C3 with black playing bishop to B7. At this present moment, they're just moving their pieces into the attacking position as accurately as possible. I cannot stand when beginners just move pawns into position. If you don't know how the other pieces move, you should get that training on moving the other pieces. That's how you're gonna get better. White played next after bishop to B7, knight to F3, knight B to D7, castle kingside, and then white played the move knight to E2 in this position, which is a very odd move when you see it at first. You might be thinking, what is Emanuel Lasker doing playing this move knight to E2? Black isn't just going to sit around and let white attack them, and so they're like, okay, if you want to move your pieces to the king side, well, I'm going to push ahead in the center with this move C5. Emanuel Lasker did not mind at all, and that's why they did knight to G3, put in pieces on these squares, two bishops along these diagonals facing the king. Something could happen here at any moment. Queen to C7, knight to E5, placing it right in the center, because you already know once we control the center, we can control the game. And this knight is attacking every single piece along their side, all right? I got a question for you. Is it a good idea for black to take the knight on E5 or not to take the knight on E5? Well, you're gonna see why this is a bad move, because black exactly took the knight on E5, which gave white this tempo move, bishop takes on E5, attacking the queen on C7, which black was like, okay, well, I don't want to lose my queen, and that's why they did this move, queen to C6. Queen to E2, A6 by black, and then we have this position, and you should be smelling some type of tactic here. Most people have the question, how can I find actual tactics in games that I play in real life? Because they can find the tactics in puzzles, but they can't find it in real games. Well, you have to have that somewhat spidey sense to find it in the real game. And if you don't have it here, then I don't know what to tell you. You have to do puzzles and puzzles and puzzles until you get that muscle memory down pat so that you can beat people like Magnus Carlsen. It starts with a little flame. If you miss this flame, if you miss the opportunity, then it'll all just go away. That's why it is really important for us to hone our tactical abilities in chess. What do you think is the best move for the white pieces here? Because anything can happen in the World Wrestling Federation. If you didn't know, this is called the Immortal Game for a reason, and it all starts at this position, knight to H5. This is when Bauer didn't ignore the knight on H5. He didn't do a simple move like rook F to D8. But after this, you're gonna see why this game lives in chess players' hearts. White decided to take the pawn on H7, sacrificing it, checking the king on G8. And black only has one option. You're not going to coward around and do a move like king to H8. You're not gonna do that. So that's why he decided to do king takes on H7, which Lasker was like, okay, you still have defenses around your king. White kept the pressure going, and that's why he checked Black first with queen takes on h5. Since that knight was just out there, why not give the check? Their king has to move back, which is the only square. Lasker seeing that they still had defenses around their king, and the only defensive piece that we need to get rid of is this pawn right here on g7, which Lasker snipped that pawn right on out of here in the position. Bauer had no choice. He had to take the bishop, because if he didn't, queen to h8 was just checkmate. King takes on g7, queen to g4, king h7, rook to f3. Almost looks lights out. It almost looks like it's completely busted, but Black found one safe resort to keep the game going, which that's what we should be doing. We should be keeping our fighting spirit alive. Black did the move e5, which White went on ahead and took the queen with rook to h3, queen to h6, rook takes on h6, king takes on h6. And then Lasker found this last move to not make it difficult, queen to d7, forking the bishop on b7 and the bishop on e7. Without one less bishop, that makes this game not so equal, because with both of the bishops and both of the rooks, the two rooks is more powerful than the queen and the two bishops is more powerful than the rook. So if it stayed the same, Black could technically argue, oh, I have more material. But no, Lasker seen this fork, and then Bauer realized, nah, this is not a simple man. This guy is different.
He's built different.
Black played bishop to f6, queen takes on b7, king g7, and you have to look at this game right quick. You would think that Black would have already resigned because the opponent has a queen. But this is when we need to stop relaxing, because we still have to do the best moves of the position to close this down. Grandmasters or any title player is really good at saving this if you do one single mistake. And that's all it takes in chess for real, for real. Rook to f1, rook to b8, queen to d7, rook f to d8, attacking the queen, queen to g4, checking the king on g7, king f8, and then White did the move f takes on e5. Notice how even though White is up ahead in pieces, he does not relent. He gets every single one of his pieces into the attack. He brought his queen where his rook was, and now they are powerful and still attacking the king that's out there freely without a castle anymore. The whole castle structure is gone. They're not protected anymore. So we can just keep on forging on ahead and making threats because they have an exposed king. Bishop to g7, e6, declaring that, hey, my rook is super powerful on the f file, and this pawn is pinned. It cannot do f takes on e6 because that would be a illegal move. You cannot put yourself in check in chess. To all the beginners that's watching this right now, that is illegal. After e6, Black decided to do the move rook to b7, protecting the pawn on f7. Lasker did not release the pressure, because I know a lot of you is feeling, hey, what if I just do rook takes on f7, rook takes on f7, pawn takes on f7, king takes on f7? That should be a winning position, right? We want more pieces. We want to be selfish people, even if we're up in pieces. And that's why Lasker was like, okay, I'm just gonna do queen g6 and figure out exactly how they're gonna play this. That pawn is still pinned along this file. It cannot take the queen because that would be an illegal check. Horrible position for the Black pieces. Even still, this is super crappy. Like, really crappy. We do not want to play like this in chess ever. But he's doing his best. He's doing his best, and at least he is still fighting till the end, like you should be doing. Stop resigning. Black played next f6. Rook takes on f6, now sacrificing the rook. Bishop takes on f6. Queen takes on f6, checking the king and attacking the rook at the same time, which forces Black to do the move king to e8. Lasker did queen to h8, king to e7, and then he finally performed the skewer along the 7th rank with queen to g7. And after the king takes the pawn on e6, we get a free rook with queen takes on b7. The game continued with rook to d6, queen takes on a6, and after you take this many pieces on the board, you just start chopping off the pawns, and then you're going to start pushing up your passed pawns. It's that simple in the end game. d4, e takes on d4, c takes on d4, and then Lasker did not wait before doing this move h4. He did not wait at all. And then after d3, Lasker played the final move with queen takes on d3. After this, Lasker went on to become the second official World Chess Champion, and Johann Bauer, he lived the rest of his life playing the game that he loved.